My name is Margaret, and I am 71 years old. I have lived a long life, a quiet life, a life I thought was built on something real. For 45 years, I woke up every morning next to the same man. I cooked his meals. I ironed his shirts. I raised his children. I held his hand through every storm life threw at us. I gave him my youth, my energy, my dreams. Everything a woman has inside her, I poured it all into this marriage. And I was proud of that. I thought that was what love looked like. I thought loyalty meant something. I thought 45 years meant something. But on a cold Tuesday morning in November, my husband of 45 years sat across from me at the kitchen table. The same table where we had eaten thousands of meals together, and he told me he was leaving. He was calm. He was almost cold. And then he said the words that shattered every single piece of me. He said he had fallen in love with someone else, a woman 27 years younger than me, a woman younger than our own daughter. I remember the coffee cup in my hand. I remember the sound of the clock on the wall. I remember thinking, this cannot be real. This cannot be happening to me. But it was real. And what happened next? The months that followed, the things I discovered, the pain I went through, and how I eventually found my way back to myself. That is the story I want to share with you today, because I know I am not the only woman who has sat at that kitchen table and felt the world fall apart. After he left, the house became a different place. It was the same walls, the same furniture, the same photographs on the shelves, but everything felt hollow, like a museum of a life that no longer existed. My children were shocked. My daughter cried for days. My son could not even look at his father for months. But the strangest part was that even in my deepest pain, I still found myself worrying about him, wondering if he was eating well, wondering if he was happy. 45 years of loving someone does not just disappear overnight, and that was the cruelest part of all. I would wake up at 3 in the morning and reach across the bed out of habit, and then remember. And the remembering was like losing him all over again, every single night. My friends told me to be angry. My sister told me I deserved better. But grief does not follow instructions. I was not just losing a husband, I was losing my identity. For 45 years, I had been his wife. I had organized my entire life around him, around us, and suddenly there was no us. There was just me, standing in a kitchen that smelled like his coffee, wearing a wedding ring that no longer meant anything. I went through his old emails one night. I should not have, but I did. And what I found broke something in me that I am not sure ever fully healed. The messages went back 3 years. 3 years of lies. 3 years of looking me in the eyes every morning while carrying an entire secret life. I sat on the floor of our bedroom that night, and I cried in a way I had never cried before. The kind of crying that comes from somewhere deeper than tears. The kind that shakes your whole body and leaves you completely empty when it is finally over. 6 months after he left, I was sitting in my doctor's office, and she looked at me and said, "Margaret, I am not worried about your heart. I am worried about you." I had lost weight I could not afford to lose. I was not sleeping. I had stopped calling my friends. I had become a ghost in my own life. And somewhere inside me, something heard those words and refused to accept them. I did not want to be a ghost. I had not survived 71 years, raised 2 children, buried my mother and my father, fought through hard winters and harder years, just to disappear because a man chose someone else. That night I did something small, but it changed everything. I called my oldest friend, a woman I had not spoken to in 4 months because I was too ashamed, too broken to pick up the phone. And she answered on the second ring. And she did not say, "I told you so." She did not say anything clever. She just said, "I have been waiting for you to call." And I cried again. But this time it was different. This time the crying felt like something opening instead of something closing. I started going for walks in the morning, just small ones at first, around the block, then further. I started reading again, something I had abandoned years ago because there was always something he needed, always something more important. I started sitting with my own thoughts instead of running from them. And slowly, very slowly, I began to remember who I was before I became his wife. There was a woman underneath all those years of giving, a woman with opinions and preferences, and a laugh that belonged only to her. And she was still there, quieter than before, a little wounded, but still there, still breathing, still wanting to live. I am not going to tell you I am completely healed, because that would not be honest. And if there is one thing these 71 years have taught me, it is that honesty, even when it is painful, is the only thing worth holding on to. There are still mornings when I feel the weight of everything I lost. There are still moments when I see an old photograph and feel that familiar ache. But I have learned something important in these past 2 years. Something I wish someone had told me when I was young. Your worth was never in being chosen by someone else. The years you gave were not wasted because he wasted them. You were still there, fully present, fully loving. And that says everything about you and nothing about your value. I have spoken to so many women who have been through something similar. Women who gave decades of their lives and then found themselves starting over in their 60s and 70s. And every single one of them, without exception, has told me the same thing. They survived. And not just survived, they found pieces of themselves they thought were gone forever. I am not saying the road is easy. I am not saying the loneliness does not visit. But I am saying that there is a life waiting for you on the other side of that pain. A quieter life, maybe, a smaller life in some ways, but one that belongs entirely and completely to you. If you are watching this and you are sitting in that pain right now, I want you to hear this. You are not alone. You are not too old to begin again. And the woman you were before all of this, she never left. She has just been waiting, patiently and quietly, for you to come back to her.